The other part of the forehand that's important is from back here to contact. You'll notice that I try to have the racket face tip down a bit. From this direction, tip down a bit. The reason for that is that you want to swing into ball contact with little or no wrist rotation. You don't want to be rotating your wrist because you've got to time the wrist rotation to ball contact if you do that. So for example, I'll do it here. So if you're trying to, if you have a vertical racket face and you want to keep it vertical, you notice I'm rotating the wrist in here to try and keep it vertical. See that? See this wrist rotation here? So to go from vertical to here, I'm rotating the wrist to keep it vertical as I go into contact. If on the other hand, you start here like this and rotate into contact, you can see that going from this relatively horizontal to contact, my wrist is not rotating. And that means I don't have to time this wrist rotation into contact. I don't have to time that, because if I mistime it, guess what? I got that or I've got that. You know. So that's the other important thing about the modern forehand, both the WTA and the ATP, is they both have this action. Close racket face and then just swing with no wrist rotation to contact, at least for low balls. Now if you have a high ball, it's a different story, but most people try and hit the ball somewhere around in here. If they hit high bouncers, they try and move in a little bit, catch it on the rise, so they're not hitting way up here. If you're hitting a high ball, that's a different story. When you take the racket back, you don't drop it down to here and then swing up to here, right? You take it down like this and swing up to here like this. So you're taking it up higher here. And notice when I do that, I see I'm trying to do the ATP here. If I do the WTA down to here, notice that the racket face isn't nearly as closed. This isn't tipped down as much. And so basically the thing is, if you make low contact, you're going to want to have a fairly horizontal racket face. If you have a high contact, you're going to want to have more vertical racket face. The idea is that to get roughly the same amount of lift, the same amount of topspin is, you want about the same rise from where you take the racket back into contact. With a higher ball, you don't need quite as much lift because the ball's higher. So maybe, whereas down here you want to have the racket a foot and a half below ball contact. Back here, maybe up here it's maybe more like a foot below ball contact. So those are the two essential parts of the modern forehand. Making sure that swing into contact is with no wrist rotation, and making sure that you have a windshield wiper so the ball contact, wherever it is in this zone, the racket's vertical and roughly facing the same direction no matter where you make contact. A little bit of variation in the angle, but not as much as if you're doing this,